In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the perform effects on the Maschine MK3. In particular, we're going to be looking at how we can set up a number of perform effects in a workflow for using a series of different perform effects on one group of sounds. So the perform effects are a really fun, hands-on, creative way to mess around with sounds in Maschine, and we can load them, shift perform effects, and we load them onto the group here. It's really fun and intuitive because literally just touching the touch strip engages the effect. You don't need to turn it on or off, you just touch on this touch strip and this will automatically be mapped to one of the main parameters on the effect. So in the case of the filter, it's mapped to the frequency, which is really cool. However, a slight limitation in the fact that you can only load them at group level, and you can only load one perform effects per group. So I've got this group of sounds and I think, I'd like to have the perform effects filter, but I'd also quite like to use the reso echo on here. And I would also quite like to use the stutter effect. But I can't, in this current workflow, the things set up the way they are, I can only use one of those perform effects on this group of sounds. So I thought about a workflow where we could use a number of different perform effects, and it's slightly convoluted, but I just thought, well, once you set this workflow up, you could save that as a template or just remember that workflow and just route all your sounds. So it's a case of routing. So group A, I've got this perform effects on there, I've got a compressor and a maximizer. I might bypass these. And what we need to do is, or this workflow involves setting up a number of groups and then just routing the audio through the groups. The groups are effectively empty, but they have a different perform effects on each one, and then we can switch between them. And the slight consideration here is if I just load an empty group in group B, go to my settings, I can't route into group B because it's an empty group. I can route from group A to group B to A, but not the other way around. So I thought the quickest way to bypass this problem was to just duplicate group A without the patterns and events, don't add those, into group B. Then on group B, now if we go back to group A and look at our routing, we can route in there. But on group B, what we can then do is we don't need to stop duplicating all these sounds up, so we can just erase all the sound slots. And now we can still route into group B, and then with group B set up that way with all those group settings, which means it allows us to route into the group, just duplicate this until we have 8 different groups, and then we just do our routing. So group A goes into group B, B goes into group C, C goes into D, D goes into E, E goes into F, and then so on, goes into G. However many groups you set up in this way will allow for however many perform effects you want on the sound. And so now we can just go and set up our different perform effects on each group. So group A is the filter. Group B, have the flanger. Group C, burst echo. Group D, reso echo. And then we could just jump around different perform effects by literally, in this workflow, things set up this way, just clicking on the group. Group E, which one haven't we had yet? The ring. Group F, you can have the stutter. And group E, tremolo. And then group H, the last perform effect, the scratcher. And then each group is dedicated to perform effects. And then if we want to add more sounds to this project, I go to Shift, go to my new bank here, and then in this say A slot, let's browse, let's load some more sounds. And say these new drums, I want these to be affected by the perform effects. Well, I just need to route them into that chain. So I need to go to settings, and this group, I just need to route it into group A. And then it gets routed into that series of groups that are all going to be affected by the perform effects. So a little workflow there for when you want to use a number of different perform effects on all of your sounds or any one group of sounds, and just a little way to bypass that issue of only being able to load one per group.